I was locked inside an abandoned church with a serial killer, and I wasn't alone. There were 6 of us. We thought we were safe when we heard the church doors slam shut behind us, but it took less than a minute for us to realize someone else was already inside. Someone who didn't come to pray. It's been over a year since that night, and I still hear the creaking pews, the sound of footsteps that stopped the moment we tried to follow them, and the breathing, God, the breathing, that wasn't coming from any of us. This isn't just a story about survival. It's about what happens when a sacred place becomes a trap. And the thing hunting you knows every hiding spot better than you do. This story has never been told. Not to the police, not to my family, not even to the other survivors, the ones who still can't talk about it. But if I don't tell it now, I don't think I'll ever sleep again. If you've ever stepped into a place that felt wrong the moment you crossed the threshold, stay with me. Because what happened inside that church is real. And the worst part? We were never supposed to be there. That building was condemned. No one was supposed to have the key, but someone did. And he was already waiting for us. Watch until the end, because there's something I found in the confessional that night. Something that proves this wasn't random. If any of this makes you pause or gives you that sinking feeling in your gut, hit the like button. You're going to want to remember this. We weren't supposed to be there. It was Sam's idea, like always. He found a rusted old key at a garage sale, tucked inside a hollowed-out Bible. When he realized it matched the lock on the boarded-up St. Augustine Church on Harbor Road, he just had to see what was inside. I wish I could say I had a bad feeling from the start, but the truth is, I was curious too. That kind of stupid 19-year-old curiosity that makes you think you're invincible. So we waited till after midnight and went in. Me, Sam, Jenna, Tyler, Brooke, and Anthony. 6 of us. Like a horror movie setup we were too dumb to take seriously. The place reeked of mold and candle wax. Stained glass windows, long shattered, left jagged holes in the walls. The altar was still intact, draped in dusty cloth and surrounded by caved-in pews. A thick silence hugged everything, like the air itself didn't want to be disturbed. Jenna joked about ghosts. Anthony laughed too loud. But I noticed Sam. He wasn't laughing. He kept turning around like he expected someone to be watching us. That was the first time I felt it. We weren't alone in there. It happened quick. Tyler slammed the doors behind us, just messing around, but when he tried to open them again, they wouldn't budge. The lock twisted with a metallic snap. We all froze. "That wasn't me," Tyler said, holding up his hands. Sam yanked the door. Nothing. We were sealed inside. No cell signal, no other exits. Brooke said it was probably just a draft, locking the old mechanism. But something about the way the silence shifted after that, it didn't feel mechanical. It felt intentional. We decided to explore anyway. Sam led the way with his phone flashlight. We followed pew by pew, heading deeper toward the back rooms. That's when we started seeing things that didn't make sense. Pages from hymnals torn and arranged in patterns. Candle wax dripped in perfect spirals. A rope hanging from the rafters, not for decoration, and carved into the side of the pulpit, barely visible in the dark. "He waits below." Brooke asked if it was some kind of cult thing. Anthony made another joke, but his voice cracked a little this time. I checked my phone again. No bars, no time. The screen was frozen on 12:06 a.m., same as when we walked in. Jenna noticed it too. All our phones were stuck. Like the moment we entered the church, time decided to stop cooperating. That's when we heard it. Slow, deliberate footsteps coming from the hall behind the altar. Not heavy, not rushed, just pacing. Back and forth. A rhythm that felt wrong. Sam whispered, "Did someone follow us in?" But none of us could answer. Brooke shushed us, pointing toward the hall. Then we heard a sound that didn't belong in any church. Metal scraping across tile, like a blade being dragged. We ducked behind the pews, holding our breath. I could hear Jenna's breathing quicken, and I felt Tyler's hand gripping my arm, tight. The footsteps stopped. The blade sound stopped. For a long moment there was nothing, just the thick, oppressive silence pressing down on all of us. Then, a single knock echoed from the confessional booth. Just once. A heavy, slow knock. No one moved. No one spoke. Sam's flashlight flickered out, and in that instant, I swore I saw something standing at the far end of the church. Just long enough to register it was tall, wrong, watching and smiling. No one wanted to move, but we couldn't just stay frozen behind a pew all night. The knock hadn't come again, but it hung in the air like a warning. Sam whispered, "We need to check it out." Anthony shook his head immediately. "Hell no, we stay together, nobody plays hero." For once we all agreed. But Sam had already started creeping toward the confessional. His phone was dead, so he used a candle stub from a broken holder, the flame barely enough to see his own feet. The closer he got to the booth, the more the flame bent sideways, like something was breathing near it. Jenna grabbed my hand as we followed behind. I didn't realize I was shaking until her fingers closed around mine. The church felt colder the closer we got to the altar. Not just cold, wrong. The confessional was one of those old Gothic ones, the kind that looks like a wooden coffin split into sections. The middle door stood slightly open. Sam raised a hand, signaling us to stop, then slowly pushed it wider. The creak echoed all around us. Inside, the candlelight revealed something none of us expected. Carvings, dozens of them, scratched into the walls from the inside. Words, dates, names. A few we recognized. Our names. Jenna gasped, stepping back. "This is messed up," she whispered. I leaned in and saw mine, carved sloppily near the bottom. Nathan. Same handwriting as the others, like they were all done by the same person over time or all at once. Sam reached in and pulled out something resting on the seat. A folded piece of paper, stained and torn. He handed it to me. My name was on the outside. Inside, written in tight black ink, "He watches from the dark. Don't look behind you." That was the first time I felt it, like something was directly behind me. I didn't turn. I couldn't. My chest was locked, every muscle tense. Jenna started crying. Brooke kept whispering, "What is this? What the hell is this?" Over and over like a broken record. Tyler grabbed my shoulder, and I flinched so hard I almost dropped the note. "We need to leave," he said. "Now." But the door was still sealed, and no one wanted to check the hall where the footsteps had come from. We backed away from the confessional as one unit, no one daring to take their eyes off it. The air felt like it was vibrating, like we'd disturbed something ancient and angry. Then Sam stopped. "Where's Anthony?" We all froze again. He'd been behind us a second ago. We called his name. Once, twice. Nothing. Then we heard it again. Knock. Knock. 2 slow knocks this time from inside the booth. The middle door was still open. I looked down and saw a trail of something wet leading away from where Anthony had stood. It disappeared around the side of the altar. No blood, just wet, like someone had stepped in a puddle barefoot and walked off. Brooke said his name again, louder this time, and that's when something moved in the choir loft above us, a fast shadow. Sam raised the candle, but the flame blew out instantly. Total darkness swallowed us. We panicked. Jenna screamed, and Tyler started swearing, fumbling with his dead phone like it might magically turn back on. I grabbed Sam's arm and pulled him toward the side door near the sacristy. "There might be a stairwell there," I said, half guessing. We pushed through the side aisle, nearly knocking over a statue of Mary. Her face was cracked. Her eyes were gone. We reached the door, but before Sam could try it, something slammed into it from the other side. Hard. We jumped back. Someone or something was trying to get in, or out. And for the first time I realized this church wasn't holding us prisoner. It was holding something else inside. We stood frozen in front of the door, too afraid to speak. Whatever hit it was gone now, but the wood still quivered from the impact. Jenna whispered, "I don't think Anthony's still in the church." But the look in her eyes said something else. Deep down, we all knew. If he was still inside, he wasn't Anthony anymore. Sam finally reached for the handle. It turned. He cracked the door open just enough to peer through, but then he stopped and slowly pulled back. "There's a staircase," he said, "leading down." That didn't make sense. Churches don't have basements, not this one. I looked too. The stairwell was narrow, old stone, and lit by a single flickering bulb that shouldn't have been working. It spiraled downward like a well into the earth. Brooke said we should wait till daylight. But daylight didn't seem like a guarantee anymore. Not in here. My phone was still frozen at 12:06. Time had stopped playing by the rules. Sam said we needed to find another way out. Maybe there's a service door, he guessed. So we descended. The steps creaked under our weight, echoing louder than they should have, like the stone walls were listening. Halfway down, the light above us buzzed and died. Total blackness swallowed us, but none of us screamed this time. We were past screaming. Sam used his lighter, the tiny flame barely revealing the edge of each step. The walls around us were no longer stone. They were wood now, wet, rotting, and covered in strange symbols, burned in, like with hot iron. Some looked like crosses twisted upside down. Others were eyes, always eyes, watching. Jenna covered hers and kept walking blind. Brooke whispered prayers. None of us knew what they meant. At the bottom, we found a door with no handle. Just a slot, like a mail chute. I knocked once, no reason, just instinct. Nothing happened. Then the slot opened from the other side. Just a crack. A faint whisper slipped through. "Confess." We staggered back. Sam yelled, "Who's there?" But no one answered. I looked through the slot. Darkness. Then, a flicker of movement. Something crawled across the floor beyond the door. Human-shaped, but broken. Disjointed, like it had too many elbows. Tyler started shaking, his voice cracking. "We need to go back upstairs." We turned around, but there were no stairs. The ladder we had just climbed down was gone. Behind us was a flat wall, smooth, no seams, no bricks, no sign it had ever been there. Jenna started hyperventilating. Brooke sank to the floor, hugging her knees. Sam was breathing hard, pacing in tight circles. "It's the church," he muttered. "It's changing, rearranging itself." Suddenly, the slot in the door opened again, wide this time. A hand reached through, pale. Wrong. Fingernails too long. Something dangled from its fingers. A rosary, blackened like it had been burned. It dropped the rosary on the floor in front of the door and slowly pulled back. Clunk. Something locked on the other side. Then silence. The hallway lights blinked on, soft red this time, and revealed something behind us. Another door. One that hadn't been there seconds ago. A carved wooden sign above it read, "Sacrifice." Jenna lost it. She screamed and bolted for the hallway, running blind. We chased after her, but the floor beneath us felt wrong, like we were running in circles no matter which direction we turned. The hallway walls twisted, stretched. Doors began to appear on both sides, all different. Bedrooms, school lockers, hospital curtains. All wrong for a church. None opened. Just a blur of personal memories and places none of us wanted to revisit. I stopped and looked at Sam. "This place isn't just alive," I said. "It knows us." And in that moment I realized something I still can't explain. I heard my mother's voice whisper my name from inside one of the doors. Jenna didn't get far. The hallway swallowed her. 1 second she was ahead of us, the next gone. No scream, no sound, just gone. We all stopped, frozen in place. Sam called her name. I joined in. "Jenna!" Nothing. Only that low hum coming from the red hallway lights, like something breathing through the walls. We turned in slow circles, every direction now looking identical. Doors, shadows, endless corridor. "We're being herded," Brooke whispered, "like cattle." Her voice cracked and I saw tears running down her face. Tyler slammed his fists into one of the doors and screamed. It didn't budge. We kept moving. Not because we had a plan, because stopping felt worse. I don't know how long we walked, minutes, hours. Time was gone. The church had eaten it. We turned a corner and found a door slightly ajar. No name, no markings, just a dull red light glowing from inside. Sam pushed it open and stepped in first. We followed without thinking. Inside was a massive room, circular, with stone walls and pews arranged in a spiral facing a pulpit at the center. On the pulpit stood a tall figure in a dark, torn robe. He didn't move, didn't speak, but we knew he'd been expecting us. The figure's head was wrapped in old cloth like a burial shroud, and keys, dozens of them, hung from nails driven into his chest. Long, rusted, jagged keys. Some still had tags on them, hotel room numbers, locker labels. One said home. He raised a hand slowly and pointed toward the back wall where a giant crucifix hung upside down, scorched black. Below it, something moved in the shadows, twisting, twitching. That's when I saw it. Anthony, on his knees, facing the wall, whispering. Sam rushed toward him, but the robed man snapped his fingers and the pews slammed together, blocking the path. Tyler cursed and tried to push past them, but it was like they weighed tons. I got closer to see Anthony's face. His eyes were gone, hollow. His mouth kept moving, murmuring a prayer that wasn't in any language I knew. Brooke screamed, and that's when the figure finally spoke. His voice was deep, dry, and ancient. You were never invited, yet you unlocked the door. So now you must feed what waits beneath. We all backed away. The pews closed tighter. The room darkened. The only light came from the keys on his chest. They shimmered faintly, like they were burning from the inside out. The man raised both hands now, and the walls began to drip. Black liquid poured from the stone, hissing when it hit the ground. You must choose, he said. One must stay, or all will be taken. Brooke was sobbing now. Sam looked at me. There's no choice, he whispered. We're not leaving anyone. But the figure just smiled beneath the cloth. A deep chuckle echoed from behind the walls. The doors slammed shut. The air felt heavier, like we were standing in the lungs of something massive, and it had just taken a breath. Tyler snapped. He ran toward the figure, screaming. As he crossed the center of the spiral, the stone beneath him cracked. A hole opened. Tyler dropped out of sight in a blink. No scream, no sound, just gone. The pews reopened. The figure was gone. So was Anthony. The room was empty. We didn't speak, we didn't breathe. Sam walked to where the hole had opened. It was gone now, just clean stone. Brooke picked up one of the keys left on the pulpit. It was ice cold. The tag read, Redemption. Behind us, a door creaked open, and from inside it, Jenna called our names. We followed Jenna's voice into the room. We should have known better, but her voice sounded normal, desperate but familiar. And after everything, we needed familiar. The room was small, wooden, like an old confessional that had been stretched into a bedroom. Candlelight flickered on the walls, revealing children's drawings. Crayon lines of angels, crosses, and black stick figures with red eyes. In the center of the room was Jenna, curled into a corner, crying. Sam ran to her, dropped to his knees. "Where were you?" he asked. She didn't look at him. She just said, "I remember everything now." That sentence hit harder than it should have. I stepped closer. "What do you mean?" Jenna lifted her head. Her eyes were sunken but clear, her skin pale. She looked older, like she'd lived a lifetime in the hour she'd been gone. "This isn't the first time," she said. "We've been here before. All of us." We stared at her. "We broke in before, last year, 2 years ago. I don't know, it resets every time. But the church remembers us." My blood ran cold. The drawings on the walls, some of the names matched ours. Dates, years old. Brooke backed away, shaking her head. "No, I'd remember this." Jenna shook her head. "You wouldn't. None of us do until it's too late. Until something triggers it." She pointed to the key Brooke was still holding. "That one. You picked the same key before." Sam looked at her, confused. "Then how do we get out?" Jenna's voice dropped to a whisper. "You don't. Someone always stays behind. That's how the door opens." Suddenly the floorboards creaked behind us. We turned. Nothing. The door we came through was gone again. Just a wall. Trapped. Sam stood slowly. "We leave together," he said. "No matter what." But I could already feel the room closing in. The candlelight dimmed. One of the stick figures on the wall had moved. It now pointed directly at me. Then I heard the voice. It came from inside my ear. A whisper, wet and sharp. "You're the one this time." I stumbled back. Brooke screamed. Jenna didn't react. She just started crying again. "It's choosing," she muttered. "It always chooses." Sam grabbed my arm. "You're not staying. We'll find a way out. There's always another way." But I wasn't so sure. I could feel the walls pulsing now, like a heartbeat. Under my feet, something throbbed beneath the wood. Then the voice came again, but not just to me this time. The whole room heard it. Confession complete. Exit permitted. The wall behind Jenna slowly cracked open, revealing the main church again. Morning light poured through the shattered stained glass. Birds chirped outside. The sky, blue, peaceful, wrong. We stepped forward cautiously. Sam led Jenna out. Brooke followed, shaking. I hesitated at the doorway. The church looked normal again. No blood, no symbols, just dust and sunlight. It was like none of it had happened, but I knew better. We all did. We walked outside. A breeze hit my face. I wanted to collapse. We made it out. Then Sam looked at me and froze. "What?" I asked. He pointed to my shirt. I looked down. One of the keys was hanging from my neck. I hadn't taken it. No one had given it to me. But it was there. Black, rusted, cold as ice. A tag dangled from it. It said, "Next." I still have the key. I've tried throwing it away. I've tossed it in rivers, buried it in deep woods, even burned it. Every time I wake up, it's back, dangling from my neck, colder than the night we left that church. Jenna doesn't speak anymore. She checks her door locks 5 times every night. Brooke moved across the country and deleted every trace of us from her life. Sam and I, we don't talk. We can't. Every time we try, something happens. Phones glitch, lights flicker, and that voice, "You're the one this time," plays on loop in my dreams. The worst part? I went back, I don't know why. Maybe I needed to prove it was real. Maybe I thought I could undo something. But when I got to Harbor Road, the church wasn't there. Not boarded up, not condemned, just gone. In its place, a playground, fresh grass, a plaque that read, "St. Augustine Memorial Park, Esther, 1967. There was no record the church had ever existed, but I remember every detail. The smell of wax and rot, the eyes scratched into wood, the thing behind the door, and the man with the keys. Sometimes at night, when the house is quiet and I'm about to fall asleep, I hear it. One single knock, deep and slow, somewhere inside the walls. I don't answer anymore, but I think he's getting closer. If you made it this far, I thank you and I'm sorry. If this made you feel anything, dread, fear, that strange pull like something's watching. If you made it this far, thank you. And I'm sorry if this made you feel anything, dread, fear, that strange pull like something's watching. Leave a like. It helps me know I'm not the only one. And if you ever find an old key, don't use it.